Not too long ago, we took a look into some of the more concerning aspects of the Animal Crossing series. I'm talking hauntings, horrific sentient bunny suits, and night clowns, obviously. If you haven't seen that one already, I'll link it in the comments section below so you can go get more concerned. But after this one, of course. Anyway, you might have understandably hoped that that was everything the cute, cozy, beefy animal game could possibly be hiding. However, yeah, we're here again. It's time for round 2. Tom Nook, the sly business raccoon dog of Animal Crossing, with a love of massively indebting you to himself. Japanese raccoon dogs are also known as tanuki, which is where the character's name originates. Tanuki, Tom Nookie. Now, we've spoken a bit about yokai, or spirits of Japanese folklore, in a previous video, and here we are again. Despite being real creatures, tanuki are also a type of yokai. Tanuki rarely harm humans, although they do trick them. Does lumbering them with extortionate mortgages count? These yokai are also thought to be able to shapeshift, with their power taken from eating leaves. That sounds familiar. Oh wait! Yeah, it's likely this is the meaning behind the widely used Animal Crossing logo. In the games it's heavily associated with Nook too. It's featured on his store and uniforms, etc. You may also have realised that furniture items in the games are represented by a similar leaf when dropped or in your inventory. Well, this is likely due to folktales where tanuki change leaves into other things to trick people. But okay, so this one may make you look a little bit differently at the schemy guy from now on. I'm sorry. You might have seen this traditional statue in the older games. However, in more recent titles, it's been censored. Let's just take a look at the Wild World model. You'll see what I mean. It turns out that tanuki are well known to have a bit going on downstairs. So I think we're all extra thankful for Nook's apron now. On the topic of yokai, I think it's time we turn our attention to another dodgy character. Red is hella sus. Now, we discussed the fact that some of the artwork he sells to you can be haunted. Yes, you heard that right. In the last video. However, at the time, I didn't have an explanation as to why. However, I've since done some research, and here's what I think. Red is no ordinary fox, but rather a kitsune, another type of yokai, like the tanuki, but rather taking the form of a fox. I think it's interesting to note that during the Edo period in Japan, foxes were seen as witch animals, creatures similar to goblins. They couldn't be trusted. A sneaky spirit fox with occult connections? Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense. What a lovely anatomical skeleton decor item. But oh wait, I'm human, and that thing certainly wouldn't fit in my dumpy little cartoon body. Where the heck did this come from? And does it indicate something sinister about the Animal Crossing universe? I mean, last time we covered theories that you're alive and in purgatory. If all humans look like the player character, then we might have a couple of options for what's really going on. A, you're not actually human, or wholly human at least. They died out a long time ago, and we're now in some kind of fuzzy, fruit-picking, post-apocalyptic world. Or B, this is an alternate universe, either in your character's mind, consciously or unconsciously, or it's genuinely an alternate universe where some kind of human traces have leaked through. Oh my brain, I think it's time for a breather. Here's a cheery fact to keep you What the heck is that? Wasps. The arch nemesis of my village's face. The fact that these games allow you to get injured is a little bit sinister in itself. Especially the fact that getting chased and bitten twice by a frickin' tarantula in New Horizons can make you pass out. But anyway, shake a tree looking for bells, or a tree sofa, only to awaken a very peed off cloud, which then proceeds to hunt you down until it's had its revenge. Ducking into the nearest building can save you from despair, but what if you're out in the creepy, sacrificial woodland aesthetic section of your New Horizons island? Party poppers, the angry cloud's #1 weakness. Quickly whip out one of these bad boys and pop it at the wasps. They'll get the heck out of there. BRB, I am stocking right up. Now, in my last upload, The Darker Side of Harvest Moon / Story of Seasons, I mentioned that one of the titles in the series asked for your character's blood type on the character creation screen, something I thought was a bit concerning, until discovering that in Japan, a person's blood type, historically, is believed to link in some way to their personality. I guess kind of how others believe when someone is born will dictate the same thing. Hence horoscopes. After releasing this video, I loaded my Animal Crossing Wild World game card into my Nintendo DS for the first time in like 15 years or so, and after ruthlessly deleting my old save file, I started afresh. Not too long into playing, a villager asked me for my blood type, and my mind was blown. Hopefully it was to suss me out and see if I'd be someone to keep an eye on, and not noted in case they need some kind of specific sacrifice. Speaking of sacrifice, I know you've all wanted to commit crimes in the wholesome world of Animal Crossing. Trust me, same. But did you know that this dream was once fairly easy to achieve in the form of breaking and entering? Now, if we're nitpicking, this technically isn't Animal Crossing, but rather its predecessor, Animal Forest, a Japan-only release for the Nintendo 64. Players were able to smack the door of Nook's Cranny at night during closing hours, thus causing it to swing open. You'd then be met by a pretty peed off Tom Nook in his Jimmy Jammies, who'd not kick you out or call the police. Oh no. But ever the scheming business raccoon, he'd raise the prices of items that night by 20% and pay you 30% less for anything you sold him. I love extras in games like this. New Horizons, I am looking at you and your one-shop upgrade. Next up, we have a potentially doomed villager and their ghostly spirit form. This one is solely fan speculation and a pretty well-known theory, but it definitely deserves a place here as it's one of the more sinister inclusions in the games. I'm talking the Lucky is Walker theory. For those of you that aren't aware, Lucky and Walker are both lazy dog villagers appearing across the majority of titles in the series. Looking at the two side by side, we can see a few similarities, right? So, this has led to a theory forming that Lucky is in fact unalive Walker back from the dead. You might argue that both have different birthdays and so therefore must be different characters. However, might Lucky's date of birth, or arrival, actually be the end of Walker's? It's the glowing appearance and seemingly emptiness of Lucky's bandages that kind of hint towards him being paranormal, rather than just a regular dog wrapped up. Both characters like their coffee the same way, and are scared of mummy masks. A bit ironic there, Lucky. Across their game titles, with the exception of New Horizons, the two will wear numbered t-shirts. Lucky's will have a 23 and Walker's will have a 67. Due to the fact that minusing these numbers gives a result of 44, it's speculated that these are a hint from Nintendo, proving a connection between the two dogs. The number 4 in Japan is considered unlucky and to represent death. This is due to the fact that the word for 4 and the word for death sound alike in the language. It can also be said that Lucky's 23T could be a reference to the 23 Enigma, another significant and unlucky number linked with unfortunate phenomena both in real life, literature and pop culture. I think it's also interesting to take a look at this clip from animalcrossing.fandom.com, which reads as follows. According to The Crossing Guardian, the now defunct official website for the original Animal Crossing, Lucky was given his bandages following a bizarre fishing accident involving a hook and 2 bass. This is the only official explanation for Lucky's appearance, with no other statements from Nintendo saying otherwise. Taking this into account, it's interesting to note that Lucky is a name commonly given to dogs that have been lucky to survive an incident in some way, which also connects to the fact that his catchphrase is "ouch," indicating a level of discomfort in his demise. However, there are some undeniable inconsistencies in the connection between Lucky and Walker. The first being that you can have both characters in your New Leaf town at the same time. A bit difficult if they're the same dog. And as far as siblings go, Lucky is said to be the 4th quintuplet, whereas Walker is the eldest of 10 kids. If Lucky isn't Walker, then perhaps he's simply an undead mummified dog, more in connection to Anchor. In ancient Egypt, animals were often mummified and kept with their deceased owners after all. Lucky's home decor usually fits the ancient Egyptian aesthetic, and his name in French versions of the games is actually Ramses, referring to the pharaoh of the same name. Interesting. On the topic of weird neighbours, it's only right that we're going to look at Coco next. Now, in the last Animal Crossing video, we looked at how gyroids are based on Japanese Hanua, terracotta figures set on the graves of the deceased. It was believed that the souls of the deceased could reside within the Hanua, hence the moving, seemingly living gyroids in Animal Crossing. Coco is obviously very similar in appearance to a gyroid, and that's no coincidence. Her name in Japanese versions of the game is Yayoi, a reference to the Yayoi period in ancient Japan. I apologise for my pronunciations, by the way. Near the end of which, Hanua statues began to appear. Coco's catchphrase is boing, which is very similar to the springing sound of a moving gyroid. So aside from being weird, is there any more to this? Well, if gyros are haunted, then Coco potentially is too. So yeah, It looks as though Coco could simply be a possessed bunny gyroid. Looking at her character carefully, her special skill is writing backwards, a skill often mastered by spirits and other similar entities when connecting with the mortal plane. I'll just leave that there to sink in. In other news, Stitches is also horrifying. Don't get me wrong, he's adorable, but hear me out. Taking a look at the bear cub, he just looks to be a bit of a worn out teddy, right? But what if he's actually made up from scraps of other, no longer with us bears? His colour palette seems to match at a glance, but upon closer inspection, there's a number of different shades in there, kind of like a patchwork quilt, you know, that's made up of old fabric. Oh no. Stitch's picture quote in Wild World is, "Sometimes the sum is greater than its parts." Get it? Ahaha. So, you're made up of different parts, buddy, gathered together into one superior being? Alright, Frankencub. I think it's worth noting that Stitch's favourite saying is the common phrase, "A stitch in time saves 9." I don't know, maybe this stitches in time means the lives of 9 other bears are still kinda ongoing in a weird way. To bring us all back to reality, here's a photo of the most horrific thing we've witnessed in the series. Prepare yourselves. I present Barreled. Please sleep easy this evening. I think we should leave it there. Let me know what your favourite facts, weird or not, are about the series down below in the comments. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. If you did, please consider dropping a like/subscribe down below because it would really help the channel out. But until next time, goodbye for now.